Hey everyone, Ben back from Living Survival with a brand new headlamp from Nitecore. I've been reviewing for Nitecore for years. They make really good flashlights, really good headlamps. We've looked at a lot of different headlamps from them and several headlamps fairly recently as well. This is one of their new releases. It's the NU33, and it really takes the cake for features, mode spacing, operation overall, and simplicity, as well as being lightweight and very useful out of a lot of the different headlamps that I've reviewed. So let's take a look at why I like it so much, and I think you will too. So we've looked at a lot of Nitecore products on the channel. They are one of my favorite lighting companies. They make great products, whether you're getting flashlights or, in this case, headlamps. We looked at this one, the UT27, a great ultralight headlamp with spot and flood and also red light. The only drawback to this one was that the spotlight is a little bit yellow for my liking, so it's got a really low Kelvin number and is really yellow. I mean, it does cut down on fog and weather and stuff, so if you were using this biking or maybe trail running or something, you know, it may come in handy for that. Overall, it is a great headlamp. I definitely recommend it, even though that spot is a little bit yellow. We also looked at the HC68, a high power headlamp. It runs an 18650, so it's going to give you the longer battery times. It does have the center strap, so great for work environment, something that you might use with a helmet, for example. And again, you're going to get that spot and flood, and you're going to get a long run time with that bigger battery. And then we have their brand new NU33, probably my favorite of all three. I've been using this quite a bit. I took it walleye fishing, I've taken it camping several times, and the battery lasts quite a long time, and it's a really nice headlamp, and that's what we're going to look at today. It is a triple output light, so it does have the spot, the flood, and also the red light option to it. It is USB-C rechargeable. You've got the USB-C input on the bottom, which is really great. Now this does have a built-in battery as opposed to the UT27. Now the UT27 is a dual fuel headlamp, which is one of the pros to this one. You can use their proprietary battery here. It's got the USB-C charging, or you can use AAA, so that's kind of nice. Maybe one that you might want to store in a kit, because you can use, you know, several different options for making this guy go. Again, the NU33 is built in, but it does last quite a long time, even with its 700 lumen max output. It's also very easy to use with some simple clicks, just like the UT27. A couple clicks to turn this on and get the brightness dial or the brightness dialed in for your flood or your spot or your red lamp. The HC68 is a variable flashlight or headlamp, so you turn it on and then you basically hold the button down and it will fade from one to the other. So a little bit different in operation. Again, the NU33, probably my favorite for just overall use and overall operation. You do get the nice reflective headband on here, as you also do with the UT27. Again, 700 lumen max output with 5 brightness levels and 2 special modes. It's got the primary spot to it, a floodlight to it, and then it's also got the auxiliary red light. So great for everyday use, hunting, camping, whatever you use that for. It's also got really good mode spacing. Its lowest mode is 6 lumens, so unlike some of the other headlamps, you'll find that maybe the lowest might be like 20 or 50. I find that a little bit bright for indoor use. You know, if you're using it in and around camp, in a camper, in a car, in a bedroom, for example, or in a tent, I find, you know, that you do want a low lumen mode on there for those applications. So again, USB rechargeable. It does have a battery readout on the side. You press the mode button here and you can see your battery readout. It's got 4 of them, so they are 25% increments, 25%, 50%, 75%, etc. On the top here, you've got the main on-off and then a mode button. So really simple and straightforward operation. I can go ahead and show you that. You hold down the power button and it's going to default to the mid level here on the spotlight. You can see that that is the spotlight here, and then once the light is on, you simply just continue to depress one time on the power button, and that will change the lighting level. So we've got the medium here, which is 60 lumens. Then we press it again, it jumps up to 200 lumens, and then on up to the turbo, which is the 700 lumens. And in any mode, it's plenty bright. 700 lumens, plenty bright. You'll see in the shots here in a moment at night, plenty bright. Then if you want to switch over to the floodlight, you just hit the mode button, and that will switch you right over. And that will also default at the low, so we're at the 6 lumens now. Then we can press the power or brightness button again, and that will jump it up to 50 lumens. So good mode spacing, 6 and 50 on the flood, and you've got 60, 200, and 700 on the spotlight. Now you notice there when I hit the mode button, you can switch over to the flood, and then if you hit it again, it switches to the red light option. The red light option has 2 modes, so you have a solid red, and then if you press the button, you get a blinking red, so sort of a signaling feature there, which is kind of nice. Then to turn the headlamp off in any mode, you just hold that button down. So holding it down activates the light, holding it down deactivates the light. Now it also does have instant access to the low, so if you double click the power button, it is going to go right on the low. If again, you have to solid press it to get to your spotlight, but if you double click it, it will go right to your low, which is nice. Instant access to low is something that I use quite a bit. If I just have it on my head and I need a little bit of light in a shelter, for example, instead of going right to the medium by holding it down, I can just double click and go right to the low, which is really nice. So that's double clicking the power button. If you double click the mode button, it is going to go into the special modes. So we have an SOS mode there, and then we press the power button and it will go into sort of a beacon, which is nice as well. So 2 nice special modes on there: red light, flood, and spot. Again, we just hold the power button to turn it off, and if we hold it down again, it's going to default right back to that medium level. You also have instant access to the red light should you want that. If you hold down the mode button, you get instant access to that red. So instant access to 3 different modes: the lowest, the red, and then the special options. Again, you get there by double clicking the power button here, you'll get to your lowest mode. Double click the mode button, you'll get to the special mode, and then holding the mode button, you'll get to red, and holding the power button, you'll get to the normal operation. So first, let me go through the lighting modes here. We have the turbo on at the moment, so the brightest the headlamp will go. You can step it down to the medium here, and this is all on the spot side of the light. So we have medium, high, and then our turbo. Really nice beam, nice amount of light. Definitely bright enough to see all the way down this path. You can see well up into the trees. Walk up here to this bench so I can give you sort of a reference for size and distance. Moon is coming up out there, so we can see all the way down this path here, and this path here. Here's our bench, and I'll go through the modes here again. So we have our medium, our high, and our turbo. Can get a little bit closer and switch to the flood side of things. We have our ultra low and our low on the flood. So you're not going to get much distance out of the flood, but plenty of light for around camp and to, of course, save on that battery life. And of course, we can switch over to our red light, which gives you a nice red light to preserve that night vision. switch back over to our spot. So even at the medium, you guys probably can't see it on camera, but I can see a decent amount away. Definitely plenty of light if you're going for a walk. If I just need light in front of me. So we have our medium spot and our medium flood. You can see you lose that distance there with the light. Switch back. So two very usable light modes, whether you want the distance of that spot or you want the close-up of the flood. Really good mode spacing in my opinion. To have an ultra low, which is a must for me when I want to save battery life, or when I'm in a tent for example and just need a minimal amount of light. Can use either the red light or that ultra low. And then of course walking you can certainly do with the low floodlight mode. We can take a look at the different modes in a camp setting here. This is the ultra low. Decent amount of light to read or to view things in front of you, indoors for example, in a tent, in a camper, in your home. That's the ultra low. Go up to the low, which is also flood, but gives you a much brighter flood, more than enough light for around a camp setting. And we can switch over to our red light, which again, going to preserve that night vision. And it actually does a pretty decent job of reaching out. And then of course on over to our spot. Medium is plenty fine for close-up tasks. You've got your high and your turbo. Shoot up into the trees here. Got our low. Barely makes it up there. Our medium. And then our turbo. Really, really nice light. Really nice to have the capability of the flood and the spot, and to be able to quickly switch between them instead of having to hold the button down to fade it one way or the other, which also works. But I like the simple click access to whatever mode that I like. So I really couldn't find any cons with this headlamp other than it doesn't have instant access to turbo as other flashlights and other headlamps do. It does have that instant access to its lowest mode, which is something that I do use quite a bit, and also instant access to red, which I could give or take. It is very easy, however, to get to the turbo mode just by turning it on and then clicking it twice more, and you're up into that highest level, which is very, very bright. And overall, I think it just has really good mode spacing. It's ultralight and really just a good headlamp and a good price as well. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this review. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the NU33. I really like it. I'll post a link down below to Nitecore's website, as well as a link where you can purchase it from Amazon. Remember, anything that you purchase through my links on Amazon, I may get a commission for, which definitely helps me out, helps the channel out. Feel free to share this video with your friends and family on your social media. And if you haven't already done so, please click that red subscribe button and that notification bell for new videos.